For those of you who are reading Warriors in the 2009 to 2012 range and happen to look in the backs of your Omen of the Stars books, you might have seen strange little numbered walls of text with the title informing you that this was the Warrior Cats adventure game. Honestly, from what I've seen, the majority of even the people who did see these ignored them. But the same can't be said for me. These wonderful, horrible, absurd little stories at the back of each Omen of the Stars book, along with Battle of the Clans and the Old Warriors website, were for a while the main draw of the books to me at all. And frankly, I think more people should know about this odd little game, so I'm going to explain it for you all here. The Warriors Adventure Game is a group tabletop game written by Stan Brown and illustrated by James L. Barry, where you and a group of friends each create characters in the Warriors world and play through pre-written adventure stories, where you get to use your team's unique blend of strengths, skills, and choices to solve problems in your own way, earning praise and acclaim for your characters if you do well, and disappointment or pain if you do badly. You could find 6 of the 8 adventures in the backs of each book in the Omen of the Stars arc, 1 in the back of the Battle of the Clans field guide, and 1 tutorial-style adventure was included in the Rulebook, the 53-page PDF detailing the game's rules and setup that could be found for free on the Old Warrior Cats website. The blank character sheets were also available there. I still have both PDFs in full, downloaded from when I used to be extremely invested in the game, but they are also still accessible if you just search Warrior Cats Adventure Game, as others have uploaded the full PDFs in the wake of the old website's closure. As for how the game is actually played, it's more complicated than your average board, card, or video game, but significantly less complicated and more limited than other tabletop role-playing games. The character sheets have space for you to add in plenty of information, like the cat's name, pelt and eye colors, and even a picture of them if you're interested in adding it, but most of the space is for mechanical information. Your character's clan and age, for example, both have mechanical impacts. Each of the clans you can join, the main 4, as those were the ones that existed around the lake at the time, provide a bonus to a different skill based on that clan's specialties. ThunderClan gets a bonus point in Ponder, RiverClan gets a bonus in Swim, WindClan gets a bonus in Listen, and ShadowClan gets a bonus in Sneak. I promise, I will explain the skills in full shortly, but even by their names alone, it should become more clear what each clan is granting you. Age, meanwhile, actually has to do with progress. Unlike leveling based on experience, enemies defeated, or adventures completed, the base adventure game system has progress based on how old your character is in moons. You get some base apprentice stats as an apprentice at 6 moons, a base warrior upgrade at 10 moons, and every moon after that will provide you either an extra skill, ability point, or knack, until you get especially old and begin to occasionally lose some abilities based on your body growing frail. This aging is, in part, done naturally in-game as certain prompts at the ends of adventures or hypothetically mid-adventure will lead you to increase your cat's age by a moon or more and get the appropriate bonuses. But the rulebook also encourages you to age your cats in real time as you play through several sessions, or by choice in an agreement with your group. Now it's finally time to explain what all those advancements would even do, using as our example the beloved, to me, adventure game exclusive character, Muddy Claw. The rulebook, along with its generally sleek graphic design and attractive accent drawings to frame each page, contains several illustrations of this cat, Muddy Claw, who starts as Muddy Paw and works as their example for how to create a character. As they suggest we should do for our characters, Muddy Paw begins as an apprentice, and therefore has 5 ability points to split between the 3 abilities, Strength, Intelligence, and Spirit, with a minimum of 1 point allocated to each ability. This means that all apprentice characters will either have 2 points in 2 abilities and 1 point in the 3rd ability, or 1 point in 2 abilities and 3 points in the 3rd ability. Muddy Paw, as shown here, has 2 points in Intelligence and Spirit and 1 point in Strength, and it seems he is becoming an apprentice 2 moons early. But anyway, when he does become a warrior, he automatically gets another point in the Strength ability, and chooses to take another point in Intelligence rather than Spirit. The ability points are important in that they determine how well your cat will perform at certain tasks. And while which specific skills fall under which ability are listed in the skill table below, the general overview is that Strength is used in attacking and shows of strength, Intelligence is used in thinking of lore, new solutions, or looking for details, and Spirit is used for both agile movements and emotional resolve. The ability points you have will not only determine how well you can do at certain tasks, but how much extra effort you can expend and how long you can stay standing, a factor I will explain in a short while when I tell you what the other factors are. Skills are the next important mechanic, and there are 15 of them, all of which correspond to different actions your cat could be asked to do in-game. There are 5 that fall under each of the abilities, and they are as follows. Under Strength, the skills are Arch, Bite, Climb, Swim, and Wrestle. Under Intelligence is Ponder, Pounce, See, Smell, and Swat, and under Spirit is Focus, Hiss, Jump, Listen, and Sneak. Most of the names are self-explanatory, but the rulebook also has extensive descriptions of what each skill could be applied to, such as the Jump skill always being defensive, being used to avoid enemy attacks, get down from high places safely, or land safely rather than crashing to the ground during a fall. As mentioned earlier, you get 1 skill point based on the clan you've chosen, and Muddypaw got an extra skill point in Listen due to being in Wind Clan, along with 3 other skill points which he gave to Jump, Listen, and Ponder. Being a warrior doesn't immediately grant you extra skills, so Muddyclaw stays the same in that regard. However, he does get something else. Knacks. Knacks are the 3rd main gameplay mechanic, and the last element of the character sheet to cover. Unlike skills, which every cat can do and can be asked to do regardless of whether or not they have bonuses in it, knacks are special tricks for specific situations that cats can use to specialize in a certain area. And usually these are used to have a better chance of completing a task or increase your talent in a specific area based on your cat's experience with that particular field. Once again, the knacks are detailed in the rulebook, but there are 25 of them, several of which you can take multiple times to increase that knack's effectiveness, so it's a good place to give some unique details to your character. Players are encouraged to choose ability points, skills, and knacks based on an imagined personality and story for their cats to integrate a storytelling aspect into this storytelling game. And as you get 3 knacks for completing warrior training, you are especially led into thinking about what your cat might have learned to love or specialize in during their apprenticeship. Muddyclaw found that he really likes medicine cat work, so he chose the herb lore, medicine lore, and alertness knacks to find, identify, and use herbs. If you don't want to create your own character at all, though, several completed character sheets are included in the rulebook for prominent canon warriors characters, if you'd rather play as them. With the character sheet filled, I'll quickly walk you through what an interaction with this would look like. Let's say that Muddyclaw is asked to listen ahead and check for the creatures they're tracking. Listen is a spirit-based skill, so we start with Muddyclaw's spirit score, 2. Muddyclaw has a +2 bonus in Listen as well, giving him a 4 on this check by default. Muddyclaw also has the alertness knack, which, if paid for with a spirit chip, can be used to add a bonus point to a focus, listen, ponder, see, or smell check. He has 2 spirit chips to spend, so he could use this to add +1 or +2 to his check. Now, if he wishes, without the knack, he is allowed to spend chips to increase his score. Each chip spent adds +1 to your score for the check, but you may only spend chips that match the ability being tested. Muddypaw has 2 spirit chips, so he could spend 1 or both of them to add a +1 or +2 to his score and get a 5 or a 6. Since Muddyclaw had to spend a spirit chip and got a +1 bonus for each chip in either case, it may have become apparent that knacks aren't always very useful, unless you take them multiple times and can get a +2 for each chip instead. All of this is also assuming he hadn't spent any chips previously, as chips that are spent are lost until they can be refreshed at specific points in the story. This is especially important because chips in general also act as measures of your health. If you are in a fight and get hit, you lose chips and cannot gain these back unless you are healed, which is a much more rare occurrence than refreshing spent chips. If you have no ability chips left, your cat is knocked out, which in many cases means the end of your adventure. Spending chips then, especially at these low ages where you don't have many chips, can be somewhat dangerous. Applying all of this to a game section, you should imagine less of a free-form discussion and more of a choose-your-own-adventure. I actually discovered while researching for this video that this is now more unequivocally true than ever, as the new enhanced edition of the Last Hope's ebook version features a choppy tap-here choose-your-own-adventure version of the Saving the Kits and Plaintive Howl adventures, mostly copied over word for word without any of the skill checks and with a somewhat clunky transition. But in the original game, the narrator, or player leading the game by reading the adventure, sets up a situation and offers players a choice. But they can really only choose one of the 2 to 5 options that the writers of the game anticipated you to pick. When players have made their choices, and perhaps passed or failed a necessary check, the narrator finds out which of the options at the bottom of the page their choice refers to, and goes to the corresponding prompt on whatever page the choice indicates to set up a new situation. For anyone who is familiar with Dungeons & Dragons, Pathfinder, or other tabletop role-playing games, this is not really like those in a lot of ways. Because of the system it's built on, made to be easy for children to grasp, There isn't really much space for roleplay, creativity, or character building, and all the characters in a group have to make one choice for the whole party anyway, among only a handful already chosen for you by the story. The system of character creation, spending ability chips, and most importantly, the complete lack of dice also removes any random chance from the equation and makes most opportunities to change your score both rare and costly. This results in a situation where, for the first several moons, every single check is going to be incredibly difficult, if not impossible, and later on, every check will be immediately passable without a chance for failure. The different adventures, although they are advertised as being playable in any order, really do have to be played in a specific order based on how high the checks are in each one, and how many ability chips they expect you to be able to spend. Swapping narrators several times throughout a game is also a mechanic I have qualms with. Even aside from it being weird for characters to pop in and out of existence mid-scene depending on who the narrator is at the moment, the narrator absolutely must read through the sections they are leading to see the different situational factors and choices presented to the players and kept hidden from them. In that time, it is very easy to read something that comes from the adjacent section, which is often not the same as the next section. The sections in the adventure game are numbered and sorted much like choose-your-own-adventure books, so a typical pathway through the story could look like this. This means that the narrators are likely to be spoiled on sections they will not be leading, ruining part of their experience. This is a rule I have always ignored when running through the adventures. Most of the design choices I have discussed were almost certainly made for the sake of providing an easy and equal experience for all young children. But it doesn't create an experience with much chance for nuance, different successes and failures, or creativity in choices or roleplay. In my personal history, I spent far more time reading through these adventures, and even the rulebook, from front to back. It was entirely out of order most of the time. I never roleplayed with anyone or even created characters, and I absolutely loved it. I can't fully explain it, but I did already love doing this with D&D modules and choose-your-own-adventure books too, so maybe I was just strange. Becoming so familiar with them, I did eventually run through all of them twice, first by forcing my parents to make characters for the game, and second with a group of friends when I was older. I even designed the first chapter of a custom adventure game module where you play through the New Prophecy's first half as the characters of the traveling group. I did have fun with these, but without changing the rules a lot and essentially building your own campaign outside of the choose-your-own-adventure format, it's often too limiting to be entertaining. With all that said, I said I enjoy the game, and I do, because the stories are actually unique and fun, offering new experiences from the canon stories and several failure states where you see what the clans would do if their heroes lost. So I'll give a quick rundown of the adventures we do have and where you can find them. Keep in mind this will also spoil each adventure I'll talk about in both its story and win-loss conditions, so if you have any interest in reading or playing yourself, feel free to stop here and just read the list of adventures in the description to see where you can find them. Saving the Kits is found on pages 45 through 53 of the rulebook, and serves as a tutorial-type adventure. It begins with the player's characters meeting each other and, as a group, going on a search to save a group of kits that snuck away from the queens while several other groups of warriors do the same. They have a couple different pathways to choose, one to the meadow, where they can get several different bad endings, and one to some cliffs, which are hard to navigate, but which will lead them to the kits, along with the snakes keeping them trapped in a cave. If they do anything other than fight the snakes, the kits will die, which is the worst ending in this case. But if they do fight the snakes and kill them, or fight until they run away, the kits are saved, and they, along with the clan leaders when you return, sing the characters' praises. The players are rewarded with a 1-moon age boost, along with another knack. Fever Dreams is the next adventure, found in the back of the 4th Apprentice, and it centers around your group of warriors journeying to find extra feverfew, the only cure to a mysterious lethal sickness that has been sweeping through the clans and draining all the Medicine Cat's supplies. They have a prophecy to follow, effectively a riddle to solve, and plenty of tracking and battles in the way of getting to their goal, but also suffer under the effects of the illness themselves as it begins to manifest partway through the adventure. They journey up a hill, either past a cliff or 2 legs, along the river or into the woods, and must make increasingly difficult checks to push through despite their feverish symptoms. At the end, when they finally find the feverfew, it is guarded by a badger they must fight to save the day, ideally by scaring it away rather than trying to attack it directly. They either succumb to their wounds or fever, or bring the feverfew successfully back to the clans, earning a moon of age and a level in either the focus, ponder, see, smell, or swim skill. The Plaintive Howls is found at the back of Fading Echoes, and has the players investigating some howls of pain that awoke several of the clan cats. They are led to a group of cats each caught in metal two-leg cages. Some of them are being examined by two legs in makeshift clean dens before being shoved into a monster and carried off who knows where. The players must sneak around and investigate this site, making sense of the two-leg area and keeping their wits about them as they try to free the captive cats without getting captured themselves. Captured cats are still allowed to assist in any way they can when the group is close by, but if the final confrontation doesn't go well, they could be carried off forever, never to be seen again. The worst ending, perhaps, for any adventure. If they do well, though, all of the cats are released and the characters have a heroic tale to tell back home, being rewarded with 1 moon of experience, 1 level in either the Focus, Ponder, See, Smell, or Swim skill, and 1 level in the two-leg lore knack. The Deluge is found in the back of Battles of the Clans, and it is set during a time when it has been raining nearly non-stop for a moon. StarClan has sent dreams explaining that the clans need to go away from the lake to hunt, which is your group's task. At first, this seems like all it is, and you track sets of rabbit and fox prints until you find the prey you seek, hunting until you get prey for the clans. Or not. But as the clan cats head home, they notice a pond that wasn't there the previous day, and soon experience a flash flood. One that is practice for the much larger flash flood they might realize will head right for the ShadowClan camp. The true climax comes in convincing ShadowClan to let them help in time, and then saving as many cats as they can during the rounds of the flood. If they fail anywhere along the way, tragedy strikes not only them, but ShadowClan as well. However, if they succeed, ShadowClan is saved. Blackstar thanks you, and the players earn 2 moons of experience, a level in either the Focus, Ponder, SWAT, or Swim skill, and 1 level in the clan lore knack. Uninvited Guests is found at the back of Night Whispers, and is about chasing down and driving out a fox that has been stalking the lake territories. Mid-hunt, they can realize not only that there are actually multiple foxes on this trail, a mother and her 3 cubs, but also, thanks to Ashfoot coming to tell the party, that 2 kits are missing and must be found too. One of the Wingclan kits is being held hostage by the mother fox, who is hoping to use them to get her own missing cub back. The other kit is with one of the fox cubs, and the players' cats must use their cleverness, communication skills, and wills to solve this situation and get both the kits and cub back to safety. The adventure could end in the cats or mother fox being knocked out, but if all goes well, the fox will release the kit, get her cub back, and leave the lake now that her home was discovered, earning the characters acclaim along with a moon of experience, 1 level each in the Smell and Ponder skills, and a level in either the Animal Lore knack, if they convince the mother fox to leave, or the Faint knack, if they knocked out the mother fox. Mission of Mercy, found in the back of Sign of the Moon, might well be my favorite. It centers around a 2-leg kit being stuck in the forest, and your group needing to help her find her way home, including tracking down her family, communicating with her to figure out what she's thinking, and motivating her to keep going where you need her to go, even when she's confused or distracted or very sad without her family. See, this one is just adorable, and it's exactly the sort of thing I love about these adventures. The 2-leg kit may end up sad or even frightened of the cats and run away so chaotically that the cats can never find her again. But if the players do well and, save her from that little bear— oops, we've never seen a bear in canon before, but here it is. The kit has a touching reunion with some adult 2-legs that the cats don't understand. And the players earn 1 moon of experience, 1 level in the Ponder skill, and 1 level in the 2-leg lore knack. Training Day, found at the back of the Forgotten Warrior, requires the players to create a second batch of characters that are new apprentices randomly generated from different clans to be trained by their current characters. Flipping back and forth between playing as the mentors or apprentices, they go through 3 rounds of training: border patrol practice, stalking, and hunting in any order they choose. After the hunting, though, even if it seems they did well, the apprentices don't return with their prey, and the mentors must now hunt for their apprentices. Assuming they succeed, they find 2 of the apprentices knocked out and the others trapped in a cave by 3 weasels, who must immediately be scared off or they will start a fight. They could fail as teachers or learners, or be knocked out along the way, but there are 2 good ends for this adventure. One where they knock out the weasels, and one where they scare them off. Fighting the weasels gets this program cancelled in the future since sharing battle tactics between clans is dangerous, but the cats are called heroes. Scaring the weasels off gets the program considered a complete success, and it seems likely that the players and their apprentices will meet again. In either case, they get 1 moon of experience, 1 level in either the Listen, Ponder, or Smell skill, and 1 level in the clan lore knack, if they scared the weasels rather than fighting. Looking for Newleaf is the last adventure, found in the back of The Last Hope. It centers around a long and terrible leaf bear that has left the clans with few to no herbs or prey. That means yes, Broken Code, the adventure game did it first. Several groups, including the players, are sent out to look for any prey they can find, along with any signs that Newleaf may be coming. Partway into their journey, they receive a dream from StarClan of a climactic event ending in failure, abruptly cut off by a familiar figure coming to tell them of a test. They must find a green shoot in a white field and bring it to their clans for Newleaf to arrive soon. If they fail, Leafbear will continue for at least another moon. They must navigate blizzards, avalanches, collapsing snow, odd collections of tracks, and potentially even a fox. But eventually they come across a field of hares, mostly brown and one white with an easily missable shoot in its eye. The white hare will lead them to the green shoot, if they can keep up with it, but running through the field will scare off the brown hares. Even if they do make it, the shoot is fragile and they have a chance of breaking it in their attempt to remove it. If they stay for the brown hares, they will get food but will lose the opportunity to fulfill StarClan's mission. It turns out, however, that going for the shoot is the right option, because some of the rabbits return while they are away, and they can still hunt, in a more detailed pair system than previous hunting tasks. If both the shoot and prey are acquired, StarClan follows up with a message about the limits of the warrior code and the importance of cooperation, and the cats can return home as heroes, with Newleaf coming soon after. If they come back with the shoot but no fresh kill, the clans are less receptive to StarClan's message. If they come back with prey but no shoot, the clans do treat them like heroes, but Leafbear lasts a moon more. In this adventure, the longest, most challenging, and most complex of the bunch, there are 2 classes of reward. If they brought back fresh kill, they get a moon of experience and 1 level in 2 of the following skills: Focus, Jump, Ponder, or See. If they brought back the shoot, they can increase their spirit ability score by 1, and get 1 level in either the Animal Lore or Interpret Dreams knack. And that is every one of the adventures that exists for the Warriors adventure game. Without significantly altering how the game works, I still don't find it a very fun system to play, but if you create your own rules, add in an element of randomness, and allow some roleplay and creativity into these wacky worlds, the stories could be really interesting to play through. Failing that, you could always treat it like the choose-your-own-adventure that it is and just play by yourself, with friends, or with the book alone. Or you could just be like me, reading straight through and entirely out of order, gaining nothing but an immense amount of knowledge on these stories and the systems behind them. But don't do that. Do anything else, actually. Thank you for watching, and always remember that even games with bad designs can have good stories.